All right, MMA Fools. If you haven't noticed, or if you're not watching the video, it is me by myself. This format is going to change. It was getting hard to do this with so many people and schedules and everything. And if I do it by myself, then I have the capability of doing it on a Monday or a Tuesday before I go to work or whatever, just to make sure we get an episode up. I will still have people as guests, including the other co-hosts, anytime they are available. This just makes it easier to keep the content rolling. And I can't lie, a lot of the scheduling conflicts were my fault. But regardless of whose fault they are, it just makes it easier for me. I can do this by myself with Jacob's help from just about anywhere. Me and Jacob kind of threw this together last minute. We weren't sure if we were going to do it this week. So I am in basketball shorts and sandals, and Jacob is in slippers. So this is a very leisurely podcast today. I really am excited to actually do this by myself. Jacob, you excited?
Yes, it's different. I think it's the first time. Is this the first time you've ever done a UFC alone?
Yeah. Because it was Kyle, when he came on MMA or Gathering of Fools, he asked me if we could do a MMA podcast. And I was like, sure, man, let's give it a go. I mean, I love MMA. I would like to talk about it. So I don't want it to die. So we're just going to do it this way and keep it going. And we're kind of stealing this, the way we're doing it, this format, kind of from Below the Belt with Brendan Schaub, which is fine with me. I like the guy. It's paying homage, right?
Yeah.
Jacob's checking out the equipment still, making sure everything's going well. But first thing I want to talk about, because Jacob was like, oh, man, this is, Saturday before the fights happened, but Jacob was like, man, I really want to watch that Ben Askren, Jake Paul fight. And I told everybody, I had a couple people tell me, they're like, oh, we expect Ben Askren to win. And I said, are you out of your mind? He has the worst striking that anyone has ever seen in MMA. And Jacob, what happened?
He got knocked out first round. couple minutes in.
Pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
If somebody said, man, I can't believe it was that quick, I honestly wouldn't have been surprised if it was 5 seconds. I would not have been surprised.
You know, so there's some people calling it fake too, like he didn't actually get knocked out.
He was knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if the ref didn't call it, because here's the thing. So when he did get back up, but when that ref asked him to walk forward, he stumbled.
The way he fell too, I think that's kind of hard to fake.
Yeah.
Like he definitely went limp.
Fell right on his face.
Yeah.
But he stumbled forward, so the ref called it. And to be perfectly honest, that's just saving him, because the same shit would have just kept happening. I can't see that going any other way. Even when you watch his training videos and then watch Jake Paul's, his name is Jake, right?
Yeah.
When you watch Jake Paul's training videos, you could tell who was the better boxer, like by leaps and bounds. Do I think Jake Paul should fight like a top 10 contender? No. Do I think he should fight somebody that actually has some striking prowess now? Absolutely. It's time for him to, if he wants to keep doing this, he needs to step up the level of competition a little bit. Fight an MMA guy still if you want, to try to get that fame and also bring somebody a little bit out of their comfort zone. But get somebody who at least has some background in striking. Maybe has a knockout on their record or something. Anyway, that's all we're going to talk about that. I'm not mad at Jake Paul, though. The guy actually really puts a lot of work into his boxing. Good for him. And he got paid. Not that he needed it. That dude gets paid just from his YouTube channel. What are they worth? Like $10 million or something?
Who?
Him and his brother.
Oh.
Just from the
easily,
YouTube channel.
Probably easily, yeah.
Yeah, they're uber wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he does not. That's the crazy thing to me, is he does not have to do this, and he keeps working his ass off and fighting people. Granted, he's fought 2 pretty safe opponents so far, but
I think he even sold his house in LA to move to somewhere out in Nevada.
Really?
To just strictly train.
No shit.
Yeah.
Man, he's getting pretty dedicated.
I think he released a YouTube video on that.
He's a lot better than his brother. He probably did release a YouTube video on that. He's a lot better than his brother. His brother's fighting Floyd Mayweather. Do you know that?
Yeah, I heard about that.
he should have fought Jake, not Logan.
Yeah.
Not that either of them would do anything against Floyd, but at least Logan he lost twice to KSI, who is also a terrible boxer. KSI, another internet personality.
Yeah. And, I think we should also mention the, I guess, intermission concerts that they had. Have you heard about those?
Well, I heard about one that I'm super excited for. Rap supergroup Mount Westmore.
Yeah. Yeah, that was... I really don't even know what to say. Like, it was just so weird.
Was it weird?
Yeah, it was very weird.
Man, I don't know. I'm excited for that rap group, though. They're supposed to drop an album
Yeah, that was
this
pretty
month.
cool. That was pretty cool.
Because
but, like, their individual performances, though, it was just, like...
Weird.
Like, just get on. I think everyone at that point was like, get on with the fights. And then they introduced Mount Westmore, whatever they're calling it.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of made it worth it. But
yeah, because for those that don't know, that is going to be a rap group with Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, E40, and Too Short. And I'm for it. I am here for it. So ready for that. I've tried to download. I was like already looking up their album as soon as I read about it. I was like, hold on, where do I get this? Ah, man, not yet. April's almost over. Give it to me. And then they said something about Ice Cube releasing a single, and I thought it was going to have all of them in it, but it was just him, which I like Ice Cube and all, but I want to hear that whole group together.
yeah.
Have you ever listened to E40?
No, actually, the first time I listened to him was last night.
He's got a weird cadence and whatnot to him, don't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'm excited. I can't tell you how excited I am for that. Like, it's weird because if I go to a concert, it's pretty much usually like rock music, but my whole phone is rap. Like every song on there just about. I guess we should talk about fights.
Yeah, we should probably get on with
it. All right. So first we're going to recap UFC Fight Night Whittaker versus Gastelum. I did not watch the prelims on this one, so we're just going to start with the main card. And Jacob didn't watch any of these. So the first fight was Luis Violent Bob Ross Pena, and anybody who sees him would immediately think Bob Ross, by the way, versus Alexander Munoz. And this fight was won by Luis Pena. It was a split decision. And I'm not going to lie, before I saw the stats, even still looking at the stats, man, I really thought Alexander Munoz won this fight. According to the stats, he was slightly outstruck, which you could tell during the fight that Pena was landing a little bit more, but it seemed like the bigger shots were coming from Munoz, and he had 4 takedowns to 0 takedowns. And Pena did get up well, though. He definitely did get up well, but I don't know. I wasn't... I guess it was a coin flip, but I really kind of had Alexander Munoz winning this fight. I will say this. Luis Pena, I think people need to keep watching him. The way he strikes is awesome. He doesn't really sit down on too many punches. He just keeps touching you, and it throws you off. And in the final round, he had wore Munoz out enough that he was really starting to light him up. And click on him because I'm pretty sure he is 6'3", fighting at lightweight, which is kind of crazy. Of course, they give it to us at 75. He's got a crazy reach for this weight class too. 76. What is 75? What the hell? Inches to feet. Yeah, so he's basically 6'3".
6'2". Yeah, 6'3".
Yeah. Says comes to 6.25, so 6'3" is what I'm going with. And then he has a 76-inch reach. The guy, I mean, he could cause a lot of problems there. And like I said, when he did get taken down, he was able to use his very lengthy, awkward body to get up very, very well. But he's doing he wins a lot of he lost to Kama via submission. And then I think he's been getting a lot of decisions. I think if he was in some 5-round fights, he would really wear people out. I really do. But I'm excited to see him. What's crazy is he looks like that, and you hear him talk, and he's got a little hoodiness to him. It's kind of funny because he looks like a painter.
He's Italian.
Is he?
Naples, Italy.
Oh, no shit. Huh. He speaks perfect English. He must have just been born there, because he speaks perfect English. Or maybe I'm just mistaking his accent for hoodie. That's not good. All right, next fight. Tracy Cortez versus Justine Kish. Tracy Cortez won a split decision. I don't think it should have been a split decision. Neither of these girls are very good. That's pretty much all there is to it. So Justine Kish has been around a long time. I guess she's been fighting 10 years. And she has old school stand-up, man. She reminds me of like Clay Guida. Like, she's very squared off. She looks like she should have some big power punches. There's no power to them. Hold on, go back up. She beat Ashley Yoder? That's crazy. Huh. Go up again. That was her last one. Oh no, she did beat, I don't know who the hell that is, and she looks like she might be dead. Pudolova. That's what I'm going with. Anyway, but the girl was in incredible shape, man, without a doubt. She had her six-pack shining out there, but she couldn't do anything when she got taken down. Tracy Cortez, I would say, has more of a future than Justine Kish. The only reason Cortez wins this is because of the takedowns and landing probably more powerful shots while she had her down there. But neither of their stand-up will get them in the top whatever in whatever division. They just don't have it. But that's about all I really have to say about that. So next is Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Jacob Malkoun. Jacob Malkoun wins a unanimous decision, complete domination. And this was Abdul's first fight at middleweight, I believe. And just X out of that so I can make sure I have that right. I'm pretty sure it's middleweight. Just X out. Yeah, there you go. And then we'll click back on it. Yeah, first fight at middleweight, and he looked huge. And he typically how Abdul wins is first round knockout. And this Jacob Malkoun guy was a massive underdog in this. And if I was a betting man, I would have bet Jacob Malkoun all day. Because Abdul if he doesn't get you knocked out in the first round, he tends to lose. And his first fight up at middleweight, and it just seemed like the path to victory was clear. Take the guy down, beat him up, and that's what Jacob did. I mean, he completely dominated him. You look at this. Total strikes for Abdul, 32. Total strikes for Malkoun, 91. So he had 8 takedowns. I mean, that's just impressive. Also got to say this. Malkoun, when you start making some money, you got to get them bottom teeth fixed, bro. He was when they were doing the post-fight talk to him, I was just staring at him like, what is happening there? I couldn't deal with it. I actually paused it and made Amanda come in the room. You got to see this. Are you trying to find it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this. Fast forward. You got to see. It's crazy. Like, what's going on there? It's a little rough, right?
Yeah, I can't tell if there's teeth there or not. It's that bad.
It's awful. And like, is it blood? Is it just gums? I'm not sure what's happening there, man. Hey, man, as you start making money, go to a dentist. Tell him you'll wear like a T-shirt for his place on when you go to the road to victory or whatever. Figure something out. It was crazy. But honestly, I'm excited to see the guy fight again. He was very impressive with his takedowns. I mean, get 8 takedowns in a 3-round fight is just impressive all on its own. He's also a member of Whittaker's team. So, I don't know, a lot of potential. Another Australian guy. All right, next. Andre the Ageless, the Pitbull, Arlovsky versus Chase Sherman, which his nickname is the Vanilla Gorilla. Can't decide if I like that or not. So the numbers make it look closer than I feel like it actually was. Andre Arlovsky wins unanimous decision. I got to tell you, I think it's the best Andre has looked in a while. He looked super light on his feet. He was peppering in and out. He did get caught with some big shots, but it seems like Andre Arlovsky's chin is going through like a resurgence. Like there for a while, it seemed like he was getting knocked out left and right, and now all of a sudden it looks like he has one of the best chins in the heavyweight division because he was getting rocked. He also was killing Sherman with those calf kicks. Sherman kept looking up at the clock. Sherman at one point in his corner said, "I can't put any weight on it." But I got to give it to Sherman. After he said that, something in the last round got him pissed off, and he tried to just go in there and brawl. And smartly, Arlovsky did not take part of that. But I don't know. Every time you count Arlovsky out, I mean, I'm pretty sure he lost his last fight. Click on him real quick. I'm pretty sure he lost his last fight. Yeah. Oh, it's Aspinall, but Aspinall's a killer. That guy's going to be huge. But every time you think like, okay, Arlovsky, time to hang it up, he comes back. He comes back and impresses you. He won that Linz fight too. Like the only two fights he has lost recently are to Rosenstrike, who I think is a top 5, and to Aspinall, who I think will very shortly be in the top 6, 7. And he is 42. 42 years old. You should have seen him. He was dancing around the cage like Ali, man. I'm like, how is he still doing this? He looked great. It was maybe the best fight I've seen him in. His body looked worse than I've seen it in his last few fights. But technically, he looked better than I'd seen in his past few fights. And he, 42, they asked him how long he still wanted to keep fighting for. Let me put it to you like this. This guy started fighting in like 1999, maybe sooner. He has 50-some professional fights. Oh, Octagon, but he fought in Pride before this.
Okay.
So Octagon debut was November 17th, 2000. But he fought in Pride or some other places professionally before this. He comes from Sambo. But they asked him how long he still wanted to fight for. He said years. Like, dude, what? But good on him, man. I mean, he keeps winning fights. These guys keep coming up, and they're like, hey, if you can get past Andre Arlovsky, then, you know, we'll get you into, like, the top 10. And he's like, yeah, but I'm going to beat this guy.
Imagine what his daily routine must be to, like, keep up that level of
He said he
fitness.
still trains 3 times a day. 3 times a day at 42 years old.
You got to do something, though. I mean,
I don't even want to think about training 3 times a day.
I feel like he's got to, though.
He probably does, yeah, to keep in any type of shape. I mean, at 42 years old.
Yeah.
And they don't allow TRT, like testosterone replacement therapy anymore or anything. Like, this guy's just all natch in there. And you can tell he's all natch, don't get me wrong. He's not looking ripped up in there like he used to. But I don't know, man. It's impressive to me. Hats off to him. If he's not already in the Hall of Fame, he should be. Back in the day, it was him and Tim Means were the two like favorite heavyweight guys. And I always liked him because he was the first one that had like the fangs mouthpiece. But I don't know.
He looks like if you spiked his hair, he would be the Wolverine.
Yeah. Man, they should get him to play Wolverine. All right. But great for Andre. Listen, man, keep doing the damn thing. All right, so next was the main event, and Robert Whittaker, who I had no idea his nickname was the Reaper. Did he just give that to himself? Kevin versus Kevin Gastelum. Robert Whittaker wins a lopsided decision, unanimous. Just to give you an idea, the total strikes, Robert Whittaker had 169, Gastelum had 70. Significant strikes, 150 to 62. And Robert Whittaker also just said, hey, why not add in 4 takedowns just for effect? Most of those strikes, from when I was watching, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't even finish watching this fight. It was so much domination. I mean, Kevin Gastelum maybe could have caught him with something, but it didn't seem like it. Robert Whittaker was maybe the best I've ever seen him look. He wasn't going straight forward. He wasn't going straight back. He was hitting good angles. He had Gastelum's timing down just impeccably. Every time Gastelum tried to get in there, he had a fist in his face. And he was also doing a really good job with his kicks. I mean, they were coming out of nowhere. Maybe I just don't remember it, but I don't remember him kicking so much. He was throwing kicks to the head, left and right. It was impressive. Look at that. 77%. So 77% of Whittaker's shots were to the head for 115 shots landing on the head, compared to 42 landing on the head for Kevin Gastelum. That's wild. Fucking those legs up too. Those calf kicks, man. Listen, it may not have been a TKO or a submission, but it was such an impressive win, just a complete domination. I don't know. Let's go ahead and look at the rankings at middleweight, because I'm trying to remember who else just won at middleweight here. Marvin Vettori. I don't know, man. I think Robert Whittaker's win was a lot more impressive than Vettori's, and it was against a higher ranked guy than Vettori's. I mean, he beat Kevin Gastelum, and Vettori beat Kevin Holland. So I don't know. I think Robert Whittaker gets his title shot, to be honest with you. I don't see how you deny it at this point. I mean, who else is Israel Adesanya going to face? It's either him or Vettori, and that's it. That is it. Robert Whittaker, go for it, man. I'm telling you, he looks so much better in his striking game that I'm actually excited to see that fight. Yeah, that's it. I don't think we really need to look at anybody else on here. I think that's all we're going to look at. This is going to be a quick episode, guys, because there wasn't too many big fights on this card. And so we got that. Now we'll look at upcoming matches. So the first one is UFC 261, Usman versus Masvidal 2. Scroll down here. There's quite a few good fights on this one. Let's see. That's good right there. First one we'll talk about is Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Crute. I love Anthony Smith. I think that dude is a beast. I love his personality. I love his heart. But I will be rooting for Jimmy Crute here. I think Jimmy Crute is a young up-and-comer. He has a Resident Evil tattoo. I think that's cool. Jimmy Crute, I don't know. Jimmy Crute's got good power in his hands. He's younger. Anthony Smith, I feel, has kind of done what he's going to do in the division. He doesn't seem to be able to get past the top tier. And Jimmy Crute is only 25. I didn't realize he was only 25. Who all has he beat? This is his first big test. He beat Sam Alvey. That's a decent name. He beat Paul Craig. That's a okay name. That's really it. I don't know. I'm excited for Jimmy Crute. I like the guy. He looks impressive to me. He seems to have good striking. Can't remember if I've seen much of him on the ground game. He does have one submission, though. No, go back up. I missed that. Let me see that again. I lied. He has 4 submissions and 5 KOs. So, man, pretty well-rounded. 3 decisions. Huh. Just 1 submission loss. I don't know. I'm excited for that fight. I can't wait to see it. Like I said, I hate to say it, but I think I'll be rooting for Crute on that one. Nothing against Anthony Smith. If you win, I'll be pumped, brother. All right, next is Chris, get the hell out of the UFC, Weidman versus Uriah. I am a waste of potential haul. Uriah, you, for me, were supposed to be the next Anderson Silva, but with more power. Please show it to me here. Please show it to me. Did you ever see his knockout from the Ultimate Fighter?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, see if you can find it. Uriah Hall knockout, Ultimate Fighter. Everybody should look this up. It is the most impressive spin kick knockout I've ever seen. I thought the guy was dead. I'm not exaggerating. I've never seen anybody breathe like that. It's the craziest shit I ever saw. I was actually rooting for the other guy because he was from St. Louis, and I moved to this area from St. Louis. So I was rooting for this guy, and then he got his face kicked off. Oh, man, here it comes. And boom. And look, he's dead.
Oh my god.
Do you have the sound on? Because you see how he's breathing? Ooh. Now watch how they show how he's breathing. He got taken out in a stretcher. That's not okay.
Yikes, that is not okay.
That is not okay. That is one of the scariest knockouts I have ever seen in my life. So he was doing stuff like this to everybody. Just so much power. Look at him. He's still not awake. His eyes are wide open. That's terrifying. Terrifying. He can't hear you. You're right, I'll just apologize to him. I'm sorry, Adam. He can't hear you. All right, moving on. But he's got so much potential, and really his big issue, in my opinion, I don't know the guy, but in my opinion, is he gets in his own head. Was that not one of the scariest knockouts you've ever seen?
Yeah. Just by the way he was breathing afterwards.
Yeah.
Just laying there unconscious.
Unconscious with his eyes wide open.
Yeah, that's scary.
Breathing hard to the point where, like, his neck is flexing. Like, whoa. Oh, man, I saw that live. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, Uriah Hall, please beat Chris Weidman. Do not let Chris Weidman beat you. And then please make a run, man. You're getting old, brother. I'm a massive, massive fan. Let's go, Uriah Hall. Let's go. Moving on to Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade. And Jessica Andrade has moved up. She had one fight. Now she's getting the title shot. But she did destroy the number one contender. And honestly, I think this might be the biggest test Valentina has had. I also think Valentina is maybe the most skillful woman in MMA. You know, I think Amanda Nunes is, the current number one pound for pound for women. Obviously, because she's beat Valentina twice. But Valentina's striking is poetry. And she is actually pretty good on the ground as well. I'm excited for this fight. I don't think she will be able to wrestle with Jessica the same way she did in her last fight. I think she's really going to have to lean on her striking. I think she's going to have a decent reach advantage, definitely a height advantage, definitely a striking advantage. But Andrade packs some power, man. And if she gets a hold of you, she can dump you. So, best fight for Jessica that I've seen, but I would still, if I was a betting man, I would still say Valentina comes out on top. Have you ever watched her fight, Jacob?
Who? Which one?
Valentina.
Her name sounds really familiar. I'm sure I have.
Yeah,
but
we got to start. We got to get you on these more. Just have you start coming with me on the weekends. We'll be watching fights poolside during the summer. You definitely want to take part in that. We play volleyball in the pool and then watch the fights.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah. All right. Next is Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas. Rose is probably my favorite female fighter. I love her. I love her whole persona, attitude, and I said Valentina's striking is like poetry. So is Rose. I mean, she is so light on her feet. She might have better footwork than Valentina, but Valentina probably has better overall striking. I'm really hoping for a Rose win here, man. I want Thug Rose to get that title back around her waist. But Weili's no joke, man. No joke. I think she was the first Chinese champion in the UFC, and she is a beast. A beast. All right, next is Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal, the fight that people don't think Jorge deserved. I personally think he did. I think Jorge took that last fight on short notice, and no matter what anybody tells me that he was trying to make sure he was the backup anyway, and he was training some. It's not the same as going through a full fight camp knowing you're gonna fight. It's just not the same. And even though Usman did dominate that fight, dominate's not even really a good word. He just won the fight. It was a clear win. Masvidal was able to stop Usman from imposing his will, and nobody else has really been able to do that. So I'm actually really excited for this fight. I think Jorge will do a lot better than he did in the past fight. Do I think he's going to win? I'm not going to go that far. But I do think he's going to do a lot better in this fight. I think his striking is better than Usman's. Usman kind of has straight line striking. But Usman, man, he's a grappler, and if he gets his hands around you, gets you up against the cage, he tends to be able to impose his will. He was not able to against Masvidal last time, but we'll see what happens this time. Plus, I'm just a big fan of Masvidal. That guy came from the Kimbo Slice backyard fights, and now is about to have his second title shot. I mean, that's just impressive to me. He's a lot of fun. I'd really like to see him fight Leon Edwards, regardless of whether he wins or loses this fight, because he punched him in the back during an interview. But Usman's a monster, man. It's hard to bet against Usman, but I will say this: depending on how big of an underdog Jorge Masvidal is, I'd bet it. I for sure would. The guy's all heart, great striking, good power. Was able to nullify Usman's grappling last time. Usman basically won by foot stomp last time. He just held him up against a cage and stomped on his foot 100 times minimum. I'm surprised Jorge Masvidal still has a foot. Should look like one of those cartoon ones where it's just flat. Got to inflate it with an air thing. All right, we can take a quick look at the next one here. Also, on that last card, I forgot to mention this. Jeremy Stevens was supposed to fight somebody. He pushed him, and then the guy's whole system went into shock or something at the weigh-ins. Reyes versus Prajaka, huh? What else is on that card? That's actually a pretty good fight. That's probably a title contender fight. Some decent fights on there. You got Cub Swanson versus Giga. You got that guy's crazy name versus Sakai. You got the Hulk versus Devin Clark. Cody Stamen versus Marab. It's actually not a bad card. Yeah. Look forward to that. What's up after that? All right. Sandhagen versus Dillashaw. That's a massive fight. That is a huge fight. Oh, that's a good card. Okay, so... Man, this card is dope. So you got... go back up just a little bit. So you got Sandhagen versus TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw's first fight back. Without a doubt, that is a number one contender fight. The winner of that will get a title shot. Then you got Neil Magny versus Jeff Neal. Donald Cerrone versus Diego Sanchez. That is going to be Diego Sanchez's last fight, I believe. Donald Cerrone, you never know. Roxanne Modafferi versus Talia Santos. Okay. But then Diego Fierro versus Gregor Giuseppe. Gregor's his first fight back. Amanda Ribas versus Angela Hill. I love that fight. Ben Rothwell versus Philip Lins. Ben Rothwell, the old veteran. Philip Lins trying to get back on track. The young guy. Decent card, man. Oh, Christina Aguilera's on that fight. There he is. Look at that. I like that card too, man. What's that next pay-per-view? What else is on that? Then we're going to be done with this. Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. Tony Ferguson versus Benel Dariush. Edison Barbosa versus Shane Burgos. Jack Hermanson versus Shabazian. This card is crazy. I'm pumped for that card. God damn. There's some decent fights down on that undercard too. Hell yeah. God, that card is stacked with bangers too. Except for Jack Hermanson versus Shabazian may not end up being a banger. I mean, one's a great striker, one's a great grappler. But go back up. Oliveira versus Chandler. Banger. Whether it goes to the ground, it could be a grappling match, but one's a great wrestler, the other one's amazing at jiu-jitsu. They both like to strike. They're both good at striking. Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. Banger. They're gonna box each other's faces off. Tony Ferguson versus Benil Dariush. Banger. Tony Ferguson is the wild man of striking. Beneil Dariush says, I'm not going to get into a slugfest with somebody, and every time he gets into a slugfest with somebody, every time. Beneil Dariush is one of my favorite fighters. Edison Barbosa versus Shane Burgos. I only know a little bit about Shane Burgos, but Edison Barbosa is one of the best strikers in MMA. Might have the quickest switch kick ever. Yeah, man. Great fucking card. Something I did want to touch on besides that. Did you see the news between Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
How Conor didn't end up donating?
So, but what Conor said was that him and his team want to make sure they know where the money's going and how it's being used,
Yeah.
right? And I guess Dustin's team wasn't responding to them or something.
But Dustin said
they were saying it was the opposite.
Yeah, Dustin
Conor
said
McGregor.
that they were trying to send him the information and nobody was responding to
Yeah.
him. Here's what I'll tell you. Khabib, nobody even really knows about it because he just said it to him after the fight. He said, hey, I'm donating $500,000 to your charity, and did it. Didn't brag about it anywhere, didn't talk about it anywhere, didn't use it to sell the fight, and they got the money. From everything I know about that charity, it is an accredited charity. A lot of people have donated to it. So, I could be wrong. I'm a big Conor McGregor fan, but this seems like it's just shitty.
Yeah, who knows who knows what the actual truth is? You know?
Absolutely. But it's a sticky situation. I also, as much as I like Dustin, I really don't know if Dustin should have just brought that into the public like that. It seems like a private conversation you guys could have had fight week or something. I'll tell you this, it makes for a much more interesting fight.
Oh, yeah.
Conor McGregor seems angry.
Well, he called it off. He called the fight off at first, right?
Well, he tried to, but I'm pretty sure he'd already signed the contract. Like, you can't just... You're under contract. You were fighting that fight. He's like, who else wants to fight me? I run the show here. I'm a crazy drunk Irishman. Yeah, I don't think he could have actually backed out of that fight. I think that's why quickly it got announced. No, it's still on.
Yeah.
But I'm pumped for that fight, too. That fight's for sure number one contender fight. By the way, we forgot to mention in that Oliveira versus Chandler fight, that is for the belt. That's for the lightweight belt. Khabib's belt. Which is kind of crazy to me. I don't know if Chandler deserved that title shot right away. But when you have Poirier and McGregor already tied up, go to the rankings real quick, lightweight. When you have Poirier and McGregor tied up, I do not think you can give Justin Gaethje a title shot off of his last performance. I don't think you can give Tony Ferguson a title shot off of his last two performances. So Michael Chandler was really the only choice. Or they could have thrown my boy, Beneil Dariush, in there. All the way down from 9. But I would be 100% okay with it. But yeah, I guess it was really the only fight that made sense. Charles deserves to be there. Charles is on some ridiculous winning streak. He just dominated Tony Ferguson. Maybe broke Tony's arm. I'm shocked Tony can still use that arm. But also, in new fight news that got announced, Jan Blachowicz is going to be fighting Glover Teixeira for the light heavy title. I'm pumped for that. Alexander Volkanovski and Brian Ortega are the coaches of the new season of The Ultimate Fighter. Kind of pumped for that. Maybe I'll watch The Ultimate Fighter again. I don't know. Seems... I can't decide.
So what is the Ultimate Fighter?
It's like a reality show.
Okay.
So they put a whole bunch of fighters in the same house, and they just load the house with food and alcohol, and wait for disaster to happen.
Really?
Swear to God.
And they fight?
Yeah. So at the beginning they all fight to at least how they might not do it this way this year, but they used to be there'd be fights at the very beginning, just like one round, and to decide which one of those two people got into the house, and then the two coaches, basically like a draft, take turns picking who's going to be on their squad, and then they fight. If I remember correctly, because they have to make it amateur, they only fight 2 3-minute rounds. I can't remember exactly, but so then the winning team after the first fight, the winning team gets to control the fight. So they'll say, my fighter A is fighting your fighter B. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And they go through, and then the last two that are left from each team fight in the finale in like an actual professional 3 5-minute rounds fight.
So does that have anything to do with actual UFC rankings, or does that give them a?
So
does that get them a contract?
If you win, you get a contract.
Okay.
But usually in that show, most of the guys get at least like one fight. You know, I mean, they're usually they're like the best of the guys that aren't in the UFC.
Okay. They just grab a bunch of amateurs or
they're pro fighters, just never been in the UFC.
okay.
Every once in a while, they'll throw a guy in there. They're like, "Oh, he had his one shot at the UFC and he failed,
Yeah.
and now he's back. Can he make it?" You know, one of those deals.
Yeah.
But yeah, they give him
entertainment purposes.
Yeah, and when they give him a whole bunch of alcohol, for real, that's not a joke. You see people fucking getting so drunk they're crying,
So,
fighting.
do they train at all, or do they? Just...
Oh yeah, they train every day.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I didn't know if like there was no training, just
No,
beer
the
and
coaches.
burgers, and then
It's
fighting at night.
For the fighters who truly take advantage of it, whether you make it all the way through or not, it's actually kind of good for them because they do get to train with one of the best fighters in the UFC as their coach, who actually has a whole team with him.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's got a whole team of, like, it's basically their team that trains them. They're with them for the whole process. So I think the contract those guys win is bullshit, though. I think it's low money and like 5 or 6 fights. You know,
But I mean, that just gets them a start, right?
true. But I mean, 5 or 6 fights, that's 2 or 3 years. You know,
Are they allowed to do anything else while they're under contract with the UFC?
they're just not
can you
allowed
go
to fight anywhere else, but they can do other shit.
Yeah, I meant like fight anywhere else. They can't fight anywhere else.
No.
Okay.
No, they can't fight anywhere else. Actually, so like Misha Tate had retired from fighting, and she went and was the vice president of one championship. And she decided she wanted to unretire, but she was still under contract with the UFC, so she had to. UFC told her she had to leave one as the vice president if she wanted to come fight, and she still had 6 fights left on her contract.
Jeez.
Yeah, so she's coming back, which is awesome. Actually, let's take a look at that real quick. Scroll down. I want to see if they have her in the rankings. Down. There you go. Do they have Misha Tate in there? No. I forget who she's fighting, but she's fighting somebody. It's like a decent warm-up fight, and then they'll probably throw her right to the wolves because she's one of the best of all time. She's one of the most famous women fighters. But yeah, she's in Amanda Nunes weight class. Amanda Nunes beat Misha Tate for the title, I'm pretty sure. Click on Amanda Nunes. Not gonna let you, huh? They said absolutely not. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's I'm pretty sure that's who Amanda Nunes beat for the title was Misha Tate. Misha Tate's one of the pioneers in women's MMA. It'll be exciting to see her come back. I mean, if I look at that list down there, I would say that more than likely she beats everybody outside of the top 3. And probably I would give her a really high chance against Aspen Ladd and Holly Holm. Jermaine Durandamine makes me a little nervous. And Amanda Nunes, obviously, the GOAT of women's MMA. So I don't know. I don't know about that. I'd fucking be pumped to watch Misha Tate fight her again, though. I can tell you that much. If you go down Mart's record, yeah. Misha Tate. Yeah, for sure that's who she beat for the title. And then she fought Ronda Rousey to defend it. Fucked her up, as I knew she would. Did you ever watch that fight?
The Ronda Rousey,
Amanda Nunes. Funniest thing I've ever seen.
I don't think I did. I think the only Ronda Rousey fight I saw the one before she got knocked out by Holly Holm.
Okay. Well,
it was like a crazy, like, she knocked a girl out in 5 seconds or something like that. Yeah.
Which is crazy because she has the worst striking I've ever seen, except for maybe Ben Askren. but again, Amanda Nunes Ronda Rousey fight, her coach Edmund was saying, "Oh, she's gonna strike with her. Ronda Rousey can strike with anybody. She's awesome." And I was sitting there like, "Don't do that to that woman. You're gonna get her killed." And then you hear, as she starts getting lit up immediately, you hear Edmund on the side going, "Head movement, Ronda, head movement, Ronda, please, head movement." And then Ronda's trying to like dance around, like good footwork, like Muhammad Ali dance around, but she's getting whacked in the face and her legs are stiff as like 2x4s. So it looks like she's just bouncing around on wooden pegs. She looks like a pirate, just peg legging around. It was phenomenal. I said forever. I told people when she fought Holly Holm, like, hey, bet Holly Holm. That's one of the times I wish I actually would bet on fights, because her striking was so obviously bad that I just knew once she fought somebody who kept the distance and just picked her apart that she was just going to get beat up and probably knocked out. But anyway. All right, man. What's that?
That fight, Ronda Rousey versus Amanda Nunes, lasted 48 seconds.
Yeah, she got fucked up, bro. What's crazy, though, then you see that, but then Chris Cyborg only lasted 51.
Oh, yeah.
And Cyborg was a monster. 14 seconds, Julia Budd. 10 seconds. Who's that? 10 seconds. Not that. Come on, you can't have the exact same name for your first and last name. Brandon. Naja. And then 11 seconds. Look at that. When she first started MMA, man, she just took people out quick. 35 seconds, 11 seconds, 10 seconds. We're talking about Amanda Nunes here, by the way.
So she lost her first fight.
Oh, she lost it in 35 seconds. By submission in 35 seconds, armbar. She went out there swinging wild. I want to know. I mean, who the hell does she even fight? Amanda Nunes has nobody to fight. Nobody. I'm pretty sure the top 6 are right there. Like, the only person for her to fight is Valentina again, and she already beat her twice.
I mean, at this point, she either retires or you got to wait for
a new contender,
a new woman to come in. And
they love Miesha Tate coming back right now. They love that because she beat Durandamy twice. She beat the shit out of Holly Holm. Cyborg's not even there anymore, but she beat her. She beat Shevchenko twice. They love Miesha Tate coming back. They want that revenge story so bad. They're praying Miesha Tate wins her fight. But even then, they shouldn't give her they should give her another fight before that. Go down. I think she lost one fight after. Yeah, she did. It's Raquel Pennington. She never should have lost to Raquel Pennington. Come on. Get it together. Never should have lost to her.
She lost to Ronda.
Yeah. Yeah, she lost to Ronda multiple times. Twice in the UFC, and if you... no, that was Strikeforce. So just once in Strikeforce and once in the UFC. She just had such a hard time with her because she's a grappler. Like, Miesha Tate has decent striking, but she's a wrestler. So when your game plan is to take people down, you're just playing right into Ronda Rousey's wheelhouse. Judo / take your arm with me in these arm bars. Look at Ronda Rousey's record real quick. I can't believe people couldn't figure this out to stay away from her. Look at this. So let's just start first. 1-0. So these are her wins starting from the beginning. Submission, armbar. Submission, armbar. Technical submission, armbar. Submission, armbar. Technical submission, armbar. Submission, armbar. Submission, armbar. Submission, armbar. TKO, knee to the body. That's some lucky shit. KO punches. That's some lucky shit. Submission, armbar. Like, what? Quit letting her grab your arm. You know what? Go in there and tie your arms behind your back. And just throw kicks. You might have won. For real. She's terrible. Oh, man. Ronda Rousey. She's also kind of a bitch. Oh, all right. Anything else, Jacob, that you can think of?
Nope.
All right. Let's wrap it up. I think this went well. What do you think?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. I forgot to have you kind of read up the next fights to me, but we'll get better at that.
It's a learning process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably like, I don't give a shit if I read the fights off to you. I think it went well, though. I'm excited to do more of these. I'm excited to have guests. It also makes it easier, like before when we had 4 people, like because we have a few like past fighters and stuff like that that have said they would come on and be guests, and makes it a lot easier if it's like this to have somebody come on and not have to kick somebody off of one of the microphones. So I don't know, exciting stuff. So this is now also going to be on its own channel. I should have announced that at the beginning. It's going to be on its own channel instead of under Gathering of Fools. Bastards of Bourbon is going to be on its own channel instead of being under Gathering of Fools. I will actually probably start doing ad reads again, but at first just for the separate podcast, and we'll include Be Kind in there. And the One You Feed Labs, maybe an advertisement for that. Maybe an advertisement for Jacob's slippers. Those look like they're comfortable as hell.
Yeah, they're very comfy. They are UGG.
Oh, yeah? UGG slippers.
So, I mean, a little pricey, but
worth
they're
every
quality.
penny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're wearing them as shoes, so.
Yeah.
And then there looks like there might be another podcast coming from the One You Feed Labs coming soon, so keep you posted about that because I will definitely advertise for that. That person is actually going to pay us to use the studio. How crazy is that? I gotta paint that other studio, man. I don't want to. I hate painting. Who can I con into painting? Why can't dogs paint? They need to.
That would be very helpful.
That'd be very helpful because they don't do shit around here except for eat the couch.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, well, in this one, I had to flip this cushion because she ate the shit out of that one. Then she's figured out how to get out of her cage. Ghost, I have to lock up. Nymeria can roam free. Ghost has figured out how to get out of the cage. And I don't always stay here now, and I kept forgetting to take the trash out on Friday, so there were a couple of trash bags. She tore them up everywhere, bro. Everywhere. For like I love her to death, so it would never come to fruition, but for a brief second I was like, I gotta take this bitch to the pound. She keeps eating couches. Now she tore trash up all over the place. This is literally the 4th couch she has chewed on. How would you feel about that?
I'd maybe like look into like
Murder?
chew toys.
Most of I thought like if I just leave bones out that it would stop. And so I bought like a whole bunch of bones, and then she ate that middle cushion. The couch couches must taste good. I've never tried one.
Yeah, neither have I.
I'm not gonna lie. Nymeria just licks the back cushions. She never chews on it, but she just licks them. Maybe.
So they must taste good.
They must be delicious.
Yeah, the chewing part though, I don't know.
Maybe throw a cushion on the grill sometime.
I'm down.
Oh man. All right, I'm excited for this. Gathering of Fools will be making its comeback. I'm actually going to be posting a Gathering of Fools today that I don't have video for because the new video camera died, and then we thought we left the charger for it in Asheville, but we found it, but blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. I guess that is it. A lot of exciting things coming up. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We will be back next week. And this is MMA Fools. Me and Jacob are out of here.